In a world that often measures worth by the noise we make, the quietest people are frequently misunderstood. We assume that those who don't announce their victories have none to share. What if the opposite is true? What if their silence isn't empty but full, full of stories they've learned to protect and joys they guard like precious gems, afraid that if brought into the light, they might lose their shine or be taken away? These are the people who remember your achievements before you do. They are the first to plan a surprise for a friend. Their hearts generous in making others feel seen and celebrated. They find a deep sense of safety in this role, the organizer of joy, the witness to love. It feels like the only honest way to experience celebration. From the sidelines, in the reflected glow of someone else's light. Picture the woman who, after 10 years of hard work, finally gets the big promotion. She sits in the blue glow of her laptop in her silent apartment. The good news lands with a thud that makes no sound. Her hand doesn't reach for the phone to tell anyone. Instead, she closes the computer. Her triumph is immediately folded into her normal routine of making tea, as if it were any other day. Imagine the man who looks at his partner and knows with a deep certainty this is the one. And instead of saying it out loud, he simply asks, "Would you like more toast?" He holds this miracle so gently, afraid that naming it might break the spell. He fears the universe will notice his joy and demand payment. You may know someone like this, the friend whose life seems to change in sudden, surprising leaps because you never saw the hard climb. They are the ones who only speak when asked a direct question. But how can you ask about things you can't even imagine? Being around these loved ones can feel confusing, as if they move in careful, calculated ways with little room for shared feelings. They move like an agent on a secret mission where their safety depends on staying in the shadows. Perhaps as you hear this, you feel a familiar quietness in your chest, a quiet recognition. Perhaps you are this person. You are the first to throw compliments and praise for others. You are the safe place for their good news. It feels safer there, in their reflected glow. It feels like the only real way to experience a milestone, from the sidelines. In doing this, you make your own joys feel distant, like a beautiful city you can see through glass but can never enter. And here is the most honest part. You don't do this on purpose. Just that sharing your own light feels dangerous, uncomfortable, and deeply wrong. This is not humility. It is the complex self-protection of a heart that learns being seen is a risk. This pattern does not appear from nowhere. It is carved into the spirit in childhood, in moments that seem small to adults but are monumental to a child. Maybe you were a child who shared your big dreams, only to be told to be more realistic. Maybe you were bursting to tell your parents you wanted to be an artist, and they smiled and said, "But how will you make money?" The message was clear. Your pure, joyful dreams are not safe in the outside world. They must be practical to be valued. Now let's look closer at two children who live in the same home, whose stories build the cage so many adults still live in. Imagine a child, no older than 5, who gives their mother a crayon drawing. It is a messy, beautiful explosion of color and love. The mother smiles and puts it in the fridge. The child's heart swells with pride. Every time they pass the refrigerator, they feel seen. They feel like an artist. Then one day during a game of hide and seek, on their way to the nearest closet, they find the drawing crumpled in the trash. The pride they felt, the proof of their mother's love, is discarded. To a child, a day can feel like a lifetime, and in that moment, a lifetime of pride vanishes. The lesson is learned. What is cherished today can be thrown away tomorrow. The safest place to keep your treasures is hidden deep inside you, where no one can ever trash them again. Another child in the same home brings home a report card full of A's. This time, the reaction is different. The mother's face lights up. She calls relatives. She boasts about her smart child. The child learns love and attention are a reward for performance. The child begins to run on a new treadmill. They bring home another A and another. But soon the mother's excitement fades. the A's become the new normal. The goalpost, once so clear, vanishes. The child is left feeling empty, thinking, "What do I have to do now? Is this still not enough?" The straight A's that once brought praise now only bring a quiet pressure, a feeling of incompetence for not being able to recreate that initial pride on their mother's face. Psychology shows us that this environment, where love feels conditional on achievement, creates a specific kind of perfectionism. It is not a drive for excellence, but a terror of being flawed. This is called self-oriented perfectionism. For these individuals, success is not a peak to celebrate. It is the expected base camp. Crossing the finish line is met with a sigh of, "Well, that's what I should have done a long time ago." Celebration feels like a lie because you feel you have only just met the minimum requirement to be worthy of love. As an adult, this childhood training becomes a physical reality. When you achieve something without pausing, your brain's reward system gets confused. It stops releasing dopamine, the celebratory chemical, because success was just the expected baseline. Your brain has been trained to see achievement as normal, not special. Without a conscious ritual of acknowledgement, your nervous system never learns that joy is a safe place to land. The victory is registered in your mind, but the feeling in your heart is a hollow echo. You achieved the goal, but the child inside you who needed to feel proud is still waiting. If you see yourself in these stories, know this: your silence was a brilliant survival skill. You were a child who learned to protect your most fragile joys from a world that seemed unreliable. But you are not that helpless child anymore. Healing is not about erasing the past. It is about building a new, kinder relationship with that young part of you. It is about becoming the parent they always needed. Here are 3 practices designed to directly repair the wounds from your childhood. The I see you ritual, adopting your own drawing. Remember the child who found their drawing in the trash? This practice is for them. When you achieve something, finishing a project, getting through a hard day, even just getting out of bed, you must pause. Do not move on. For just 60 seconds, place a hand over your heart. Look at what you have accomplished, no matter how small, and say out loud, "I see this. I am proud of you for doing this." This ritual directly answers the pain of the discarded drawing. You are taking your own drawing and placing it on the permanent fridge of your heart. You are proving to that inner child that their creations and efforts will never be thrown away again. You are teaching your nervous system that achievement is followed by a moment of safe, warm connection, not dismissal. You are saying, "What you make matters to me, simply because you made it." Share a tiny win, reclaiming the joy of the first A. Remember the child who learned that sharing success only led to moving goalposts. This practice is for them. Your mission is to share one small, non-scary piece of good news. It is not a big promotion. It is the tiny win. Text a safe friend, "I finally organized my closet," or tell a coworker, "I understood that complicated report today." The goal is not a big reaction. It is simply to practice letting a little bit of your light be seen by a safe person. This repairs the connection between sharing and pain. You are showing your inner child that it is safe to be visible. You are taking a controlled risk to prove that the world does not always demand more. When you share a tiny win and receive a simple positive response, you are creating a new memory for that child. See, we shared our joy, and it was met with a smile, not a demand for more. This slowly rebuilds trust and connection. Create a joy anchor, throwing a party for one. Remember the child who watched the excitement for their A's fade away? This practice is for them. Choose a simple, pleasant physical action to perform after any success. It could be pumping your fist, doing a little dance, smiling at yourself in the mirror, or even just saying yes quietly. This action becomes your joy anchor, a physical signal to your body that something good just happened. This practice bypasses the mind and goes straight to the body to fix the dopamine problem. It forces a physical expression of victory. For the inner child who lives through play and sensation, this is a powerful message. It is you finally giving them permission to jump up and down with excitement, something they learned to suppress. You are throwing a party for one, teaching your entire mind and body that joy is not just allowed, it is a necessary part of success. Healing begins when we start to parent ourselves with the kindness we deserved all along. As psychologist Donald Winnicott observed, the child who is not seen by the mother cannot see himself. You have the power to finally turn and see that unseen child within you. You can pick their drawing out of the trash and tell them it is a masterpiece. You can celebrate their first A without asking for the next one. You can give them a party even if you are the only guest. By doing this, you are not just mending your past. You are building a future where your joys are not hidden away, but held gently in your own hands, celebrated by your own heart, and shared when you feel safe. You are allowing yourself to finally, fully feel seen.